Hey everyone, Michelle Alexandria coming at you with a review of Marvel's Iron Fist Season 2, which is currently available on Netflix. Apparently, I'm one of the few people in the entire world who liked the first season of Marvel's Iron Fist. More than Daredevil and Jessica Jones. Those two shows I actually found really boring, and I didn't particularly like Daredevil at all. I recognize the main flaw of the series was the lead character himself, Danny Rand, who's Iron Fist, played by a sort of vacant Finn Jones. But I'm not sure what people expected out of this series. The character has never been a top-tier Marvel hero and has always been pretty weird and introspective. So the show captured that aspect fairly well. What made season 1 work for me were all the side stories and the family dynamic between Rand and his childhood friends Joy Meacham, played by Jessica Stroup, and her brother Harold Meacham, played by David Wyndham. Having run shows like Daybreak, Sleepy Hollow, and Heroes Reborn, executive producer and new showrunner Raven Metzler certainly has the genre chops, but most of the shows he's been involved in haven't exactly set the world on fire. Metzler opens the second season with a bang and immediately puts one of the primary complaints with season 1 to rest. The fight choreography in the beginning is far more assured and more robust than anything showed in all of season 1. As a matter of fact, the opening episode has several solid action sequences that shows that Finn has definitely been training. The other thing that I loved about the first 6 episodes were how tight the story flowed. The pieces are moved around at a fast clip and flows fairly well with only a few minor bumps. There are a lot of subplots being weaved in the first 6 episodes, but it never loses focus on the A and B plot. It really felt like I was watching a traditional comic book story arc. Unlike the rest of the Marvel Netflix shows, or Netflix shows in general, this grabbed me right away. I never once felt an urge to skip ahead. Each moment mattered and led somewhere. It didn't feel like it was artificially dragging moments out. We get several anticipated confrontations by episode 3. There's a clear beginning, middle, and end to the story arc in the first 6 episodes. So much so that I was like, what the hell is it? What the hell? Is this season only 6 episodes? I thought it was 13. I would be perfectly satisfied with the season if it just ended at episode 6. As action-packed as the first few episodes are, by episode 4, all the forward momentum seems to disappear. But what these episodes lack in action, it more than makes up for in character building bits. This is the part of the season where it becomes less about Danny and more about the supporting characters. In some respects, I found these episodes pretty boring, but there are a couple of real bright spots. We find out more about what Joy is up to. Is she going to be the ultimate villain of the season? My guess is yes, considering she's going to ultimately end up screwing Danny out of his company. This hasn't happened yet, so I'm not spoiling anything. But the fool does blindly sign a document that gives Joy a hefty quote-unquote severance package without reading it. I mean, come on, people. There's a flashback-heavy episode where we find out a lot more about Danny's rivalry with his brother Davos, played by Sacha Darwin. I probably mispronounced his name. And the thing that happens in the comic that fans expect happens in episode 5, which again goes to how fast-paced the season is so far. This big event in any other Netflix show wouldn't have happened until episode 10. I honestly have no idea where they go with the remainder of the season, as very little has been telegraphed beyond season 6. Joy's brother, Harold Meacham, isn't given much to do in the first 6 episodes, but it is nice to see Danny have at least one friend who isn't trying to stab him in the back. Finn and Colleen are in a good place. However, after the events of the Defenders, Colleen has sworn off vigilantism and is trying to do good by working in a community center. Season 2 also brings 2 new additions. Mary Walker, played by Alice Eve, who many longtime comic fans will recognize as Daredevil villain Typhoid Mary, and Luke Cage alum Misty Knight. Misty Knight brings a lot of really cool hipster chemistry to the show that was desperately needed, but I didn't know it was needed, so I really love that addition. Danny Rand's constant and continued naivety is one of the things that I really don't like about his character. He comes across as if the 60s Batman and Robin were dropped into the modern world. Yeah, it's funny in small doses, but Rand's earnestness seems to be his only defining trait. While admirable, I want to see him get angry or actually question things a bit more or just be smarter. We do see him falling a bit too in love with using his power, and I wonder if that would come into play later in the season. I certainly hope not, but I would like to see some more layers to his character, not suddenly have him be dark and broody, but something. He needs to do something to switch up his character a little bit. If you tapped out during season 1, season 2 is definitely worth a revisit. It's better, less clunky, moves at a fast clip. All the characters are now established and ready to kick ass and chew some bubblegum. Marvel's Iron Fist Season 2 launches on Netflix September 7, which was a few days ago. Check it out. I give this a final grade of B.